I want to ask you something real quick. Why is it that one wedding DJ charges $600 and another charges $3,000 for the same type of event? And to the average couple, they both just look like a guy with speakers and a playlist. Somebody's getting underpaid, somebody's getting misunderstood. And if you're a DJ, there's a good chance it's you. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on wedding DJ pricing, what it really means, how it actually works, how to make sure you're not accidentally running a charity instead of a business. Roll the intro. Yo! Greetings and salutations. What's up, everyone? As always, welcome back to the channel where we talk weddings, music, and how to run a DJ business that doesn't make you want to cry into your controller at 2 a.m. Today, we're tackling a spicy topic.
That's a spicy meatball!
Wedding DJ pricing. Because if you've ever thought, am I charging too much? Am I charging too little? Why is that DJ down the street charging half of what I do and still booking weddings? Then this video is for you. But before we jump into it, I always have to say thank you to everyone who has liked, commented, and subscribed. If you're new here, I create content to help many of the new DJs who are just getting into the industry, or maybe just DJs who are looking to learn a little bit more. So if you haven't yet, be sure to smash the subscribe button so you never miss any content that I put out week to week. So why is wedding DJ pricing so confusing? Here's the problem. Couples don't shop for DJs like they shop for microwaves. There's no label that says DJ, 1200 watts, Bluetooth enabled, 5-year warranty. They're shopping based on trust, emotion, experience, and vibes. And that means pricing is literally all over the place. One DJ charges $600 or less. Another charges $3,500. Both claim to be professional.
Right.
Professional. Both have lights, both have speakers, but one of them is going to quietly ruin your wedding. Well, probably not on purpose, but still. What are couples really paying for? Well, when a couple hires you, they are not just buying music, a microphone, guy in a suit with a playlist. They're buying someone who controls the emotional flow of their wedding, someone who handles chaos without panic,
Professor Chaos!
and someone who can fix problems before the bride even knows they exist. You're basically part DJ, part MC, part therapist, and part air traffic controller.
Just remove the vest and place that vest over your head. Wrap the black strap around your waist and
And air traffic controllers, they do not work for $50 an hour or less. Here are 4 things that should shape your price. Number 1, your experience. If you've only ever done 10 weddings, you're not in the same league or someone who's done hundreds or even thousands of weddings and events. And that's not arrogance, that's reality. Experience means you read crowds faster and better. You avoid awkward moments. And you know when not to play cha-cha slide. Ugh. And couples actually pay for that. Number 2, your gear. Alright, so let's be honest a little bit here. If your speakers look like they were stolen from a karaoke bar in 2003, you probably shouldn't be charging luxury prices. And gear doesn't always equate to professionalism though. But, big but, what professional gear does stand for is this: better sound, better reliability, better visuals, and fewer heart attacks mid-reception. Number 3, your brand. This one is huge. Do you look like, yeah, this DJ is definitely worth it? Or, this guy is going to try and sell me a freaking used car.
Hey there, you look like the kind of guy who wants to buy a car.
Your website, your videos, your social media, how you talk, even if you post or discuss anything that could be considered controversial, all of that really does affect your pricing. People don't pay more for DJs, they pay more for confidence, clarity, and professionalism. Number 4, your market. This one is really important. A DJ in a small rural town might not be pricing like a DJ in LA or Miami or even New York. And that's okay. But here's the mistake DJs make. They look at the cheapest DJ in town and some DJs will try and match or outbid them. That's like opening a steakhouse and saying, well, McDonald's sells burgers for $3. Guess I should too. No, don't be in the race to the bottom. Different product, different client, different experience. Now, here's the best test on how to know what you're really worth. Ask yourself this. If I were to raise my prices by $300 tomorrow, would I still book weddings and events? If the answer is yes, you are without a doubt undercharging. If the answer is no one would ever call me again, you might actually just need to work on your brand. Pricing is not just numbers. It's marketing, it's confidence, it's how you position yourself as someone who's elite, as one of the best, and so on.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Here's the truth DJs don't like to hear. The DJ charging $3,000 isn't necessarily better than you. They're just better at explaining why they're worth it. Your job is not to be the cheapest DJ or to have the lowest prices. Your job is to be the DJ that couples feel safe trusting with the most important day of their life. And that safety and confidence, it costs money. All right, guys, here are my final thoughts on this. If you're tired of competing on price, stop selling like a DJ. Start selling like a professional who delivers peace of mind, amazing moments, a wedding that people talk about for years. And when you do that, your price stops being a problem. As I say at the end of all my videos, a day without dancing is a day wasted. If this helped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more tips, and drop your pricing questions in the comments. I'd be glad to discuss and answer any questions you guys got. Until the next video, my friends, I'll see you out on the dance floor.